Welcome to Strength in Gaming. I'm Samson Lancaster, and today I am joined with a couple of the usual suspects: Salvador Madrigal,
Unusual.
an usual suspect, and Devin motherfucker Steele,
Kaiser
nearly
Sose.
extinct suspect.
nearly extinct suspect. You died like a couple times, I think, on the show, the last couple of episodes, and it's been a while. It's been a while since we've been on, which I'll get into. And for the second time, or at least the first time on a regular show, as a special guest host, we have my buddy who is a host of another show that I'm on, the Federation Frontline Report. He's also the CEO in my Corp and Eve, and the reason why I kill so much and why I think my character is a tiny bit infamous now. Frozen Fallout is joining us today to talk about some stuff. How you doing, sir?
Great to be here. I'm glad to join the infamous cast.
Yes, I mean you've been boozled with this, so you
Yes.
shared in that pain that happened. I think
There was a connection, a bond that was made there.
I think at some point we need to get you on the spicy side.
Oh man, and I'm shit at that. Like I want to do like a hot ones like thing, because I think that would be a lot of fun to do.
It is.
Hot
It is.
wings
It's some of it's fun. Some of it isn't.
The next day isn't so much.
As Devin, host of Spicy Tendies, would attest.
You got to do the ramp up though. I can't just do like hot the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, we did in the Spicy Tendies, we did a ramp up. In the advent of pain, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was
pretty rough.
That was a mistake. But we're finally back after a tiny bit of a hiatus here. And no surprise, it's due to life and COVID and other things. Don't worry, all of our hosts are fine right now. I believe we're all vaccinated anyway, but just a lot of things going on. Life was happening, and we're finally back. And we have I was going to say fun topic, but I don't know if that's really the right term for this. It's an interesting topic today, and that's going to be talking about NFTs and how they relate to the future of gaming, because I mean,
cringe.
We've discussed it. Cringe. We've discussed a lot of the capitalistic side of things on this show when it comes to video games, because big AAA companies like to make money. So and NFTs is no stranger to that. I think that's what it's all about. But we'll get into that after we start with some news that we're going to catch. There's plenty of stuff that happened that we're obviously not going to cover tonight because there's so much going on. But now we're gonna have a few things, more recent news items. Sal, why don't you get us started in with the news?
So Microsoft is buying everything, like all the game companies. They started with Bethesda, and now they bought Activision Blizzard and got all of everything. They got all the money now.
And COD, a lot of COD.
Well, just from COD alone, dude. All the mobile games they got, COD Mobile makes money hand over fist in China, dude. Like everybody's playing that game in China, so
yeah,
all the microtransactions.
COD's got to be one of like the second or third biggest games in the world.
Yeah, this current one they came out sold like hotcakes that nobody plays because it sucks. But every year it sells like hotcakes, dude. Every year,
the most popular game still remains to be League of Legends, which fuck that game. But yeah, I feel like COD's up there, and Microsoft is obviously huge.
Yeah, if they take away the game from multi-platform and make it exclusive, Sony alone is gonna lose like $240 million a year just from COD. That's how big it is, dude. Just fucking game that nobody really likes to play makes all this money.
Fucking COD pieces.
Yeah.
It is really weird how
Crazy,
much money some games can make. Like since the advent of mobile gaming, I think we've seen like a complete change of the way that games try to make money now. Like the predatory tactics of gaming is like so crazy right now, and mobile gaming is horrible. I play a mobile game, and like they do tons of stuff in order to try and trick you into using any kind of resource that you would get for free by accident on really stupid shit that nobody would ever buy. It's there just to like make you accidentally buy it for a myriad of ways of setting up the game so that it can do that. And then it's all about like, I mean, so first there was like this MMORPGs, right, that were like $15 a month that you would pay for. And now there's like, to be considered like a dolphin in some of these games, you're spending like $2,000 a year. Like, and that's considered small fries. Like that's it. Yeah. One customer can like literally dump $1 million into a game now. And it's crazy the thirst that games
and I think
now for that.
And that would be referring to like whales, I think, which we'll probably end up talking about in the second half of the show, because that's ridiculous. But we're starting the show off with a lot of like big purchases, I feel like.
So is this
70 billion
first? Is Microsoft really into the mobile gaming right now? I don't know many of their titles.
Not so much. But they acquired Keen,
Blizzard and Activision definitely.
Yeah, they're the ones that were really into that, because they have Keen, which is the makers of Candy Crush and all the other Crush games that they released.
So this is going to be one of their first big acquisitions into mobile gaming, and then, well, now we're going to see the efficiency of Microsoft's strategy of marketing in order to watch those numbers. Probably
all they got to do is put Candy Crush on their console or on their PC app.
Candy Crush, that's another. I mean, I wasn't even counting mobile games when I said most popular games. I'm sure that there are mobile games that are more popular than League of Legends.
Yep.
Yeah, the popularity, because it's on your phone, it's mobile, you're able to access it anywhere, and it's like the microtransaction concept is
and we're definitely
so predatory that
microtransactions are gonna be a big thing with the
I don't mind skins and stuff like that, stuff that doesn't like enhance like your gameplay itself, but like when you start getting into the like pay to play, or then golden ammo, which is like the big thing that
that tank game.
We'll talk more about that in the second part of this show, though.
Their acquisition was 70 billion, which they'll probably make back. They'll probably make that back in like 4 years, easy.
That's crazy.
Just off of the mobile fucking sales of shit and COD. That doesn't even mention all the other games they got from Blizzard. The new Diablo that's coming out soon is going to be selling like a lot. The Diablo Immortal, a lot of microtransactions from that.
Yeah, that already exists. Yeah, and Hearthstone. I would at the very least be considered a dolphin in Hearthstone at a certain point. I think I was worse than that. I bought.
Well, at least you can count WoW coming to the Game Pass, so you'll probably be able to play that for free through the Game Pass on your consoles.
I don't play WoW anymore.
That was huge. That was a huge purchase.
It was massive, and that was a while ago.
Which leads up to. Yeah, it was, but it's still not approved by the FTC yet. They're still
big ass.
Maybe next
like
year.
Takes a while,
Maybe next year, mid year, it should be finalized.
And they have to figure out whether or not that's going to cause a monopoly. Because I mean,
that's well, I mean, it's not gonna really, right? Because there's still EA, there's still Ubisoft, there's still other platforms.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Ubisoft.
Other platforms. And then we got which brings up Sony bought Bungie.
Yeah. So like that.
So they get one game. They get Destiny.
That's one game, but it's still pretty big though.
Well, concurrently, there's maybe about 800,000.
No, but what did they pay? They paid in the billions, did they not?
They pay $7 billion. For one game.
1/10. Okay. Blizzard has more than one game, right? Yeah. That's 1/10 the price, and I'm sure Blizzard has more than 10 games. So that's crazy that they paid that much for Bungie.
Yeah, they're banking on something that Bungie's working on currently, which is probably nothing, because if they haven't been teasing anything, all they've been doing is just beating that dead horse of Destiny 2 into fucking glue and dust, dude. They're maybe gonna do another 5 years.
I got bored, man.
Another 5 or 6 years of Destiny 2 before they even think about starting to develop anything else, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell are they doing? At the most, if they want to compete
with Destiny itself is barely even that original. It's an amalgamation of a bunch of other games.
Like once they got
shooter. It's a looter shooter.
Once they got free with Activision, it became a little bit easier on the wallet until this current DLC that's coming out, the Witch Queen. They started doing pay gating, which I did not fucking like, dude. I've sunk maybe like 1,600, 1,800 hours into Destiny 2,
and just so that you can not have to pay.
And I'm not gonna get this next DLC just because, at least I'm not gonna pay full price for it. So if you want to get the current DLC and have everything unlocked for you, you have to pay $80 for a DLC.
Jesus, that's expensive.
Yeah. So
like, I mean, I know game prices have gone up. I feel like $60.
But that's a DLC though.
Is like becoming a full game
price. A full game for $80. Okay, that's becoming very more acceptable, right? Because most of the PS5 games are like $80.
Yeah.
The Final Fantasy and shit, they're starting to come out $70, $80, but they usually come with some sort of premium. But this is a DLC for $80, and it includes the season pass. But if you want to buy just the base game, you don't have access to any of the strikes because you have to buy the season pass. Like before, it used to be you bought the base DLC, which was $40.
You think Sony is going to make this better or worse?
I don't think, well, according to Sony, they're not gonna mess with anything that they're doing, right? Bungie's still going to be an independent company and
say that.
Yeah. Self-publish and all this other stuff. But I predict eventually Destiny's going to be Destiny's going to be Destiny's going to be an exclusive to the PS5, right?
Yeah. Well, the exclusivity could make them money.
But there's not that many people play Destiny, though.
No, I don't play it anymore. Like I tried.
About 800,000, dude. And after the DLC kind of wanes, less people play. It goes to about half or more.
Yeah, like people come back when DLC comes out and stuff like that. If they're actual fans of the game.
Yeah, when they announced it, I was like, so? What's your point? Are you trying to like steal fucking Microsoft's lunch or something, dude? It's one fucking game. So
I know I didn't put this in the notes because I feel like it is old news at this point. And I feel like it's something we'll talk about after it comes out, and probably Devin will want to come back on. But Elden Ring is releasing soon.
Oh yeah, don't play that game online. When you get it, do not play that game online. There's a huge vulnerability in it that allows hackers to take over your computer.
I thought that was Dark Souls.
No, that's it's from Soft, their games.
Oh,
so they took down their online for.
I think Devin's looking that up right now because I remember him mentioning it too.
Yeah, I knew what happened with Dark Souls, but I had heard that Bloodborne wasn't susceptible for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But that could have been false.
Ring. So
check it.
Yeah, for sure, Elden Ring is also included in that.
I don't know if I do fact check it, but yeah.
The community has been telling them for a while, hey, there's this vulnerability in the game, and they weren't listening to them. So what they ended up doing is there was a streamer that was playing I forgot which Dark Souls game, and he was online. And anyways, the hackers ended up taking over his computer and showing the whole world, hey, look at this, is a big fucking exploit that could happen to you. People
so
could
they
just
were
take over.
They were gray or white hat. They weren't like they didn't like.
Yeah, they were trying to
showing
them, hey, pay attention to this.
That's at least good. It wasn't like he didn't get doxxed or something on his stream.
Yeah, so I don't know if they fixed the vulnerability yet, but
we'll have to look into
saying,
that. But I just mentioned that because apparently the creators of Elden Ring are going to be working on an Armored Core.
Well, it's their franchise. They used to do Armored Core before.
When was the last Armored Core game though? That
like,
that was PS3, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that was like 10 plus years ago, man.
And I fucking loved that game.
Did they?
Great.
They might have done Daemon Ex Machina, I think, for the Switch. Like I just recently got it on the PC, so I think it might be theirs as well.
Matt Damon Ex Machina.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. But dude, I would be down for another fucking Armored Core game.
Yeah, those games were always fun.
They were fun. It was like mixing,
build your own mech, right?
And and it was like anime. It was like anime Mech Warrior. Like it was kind of Gundam-y kind of, but also kind of Mech Warrior. That also reminded me a long time ago of a game called Carnage Heart. That was like super nerdy. That game was where you built like teams of your mechs and then you had to program them.
I always put treads on my Armor Core mechs for some reason. I have no idea why, but I always like
stuff. That's why
the tread setup instead of walking.
Oh, yeah. No, mine was that small frame with like huge guns.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
No.
Good job. Thank you.
One wrong answer and two correct ones.
Apparently, there's
those are all right
answers. Apparently, there's going to be a Cuphead show.
Cuphead show, yeah.
Why?
On Netflix.
It better be rated R.
Yeah.
It has to be rated
on
R,
Netflix.
Right?
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
Netflix puts out weird shit.
Netflix puts out lots of weird shit. They put out lots of, very
Squid Games.
Squid Games. Squid Games is beautiful.
So they're not afraid of crazy weird shit to come on.
Well, Cuphead's pretty violent. Yeah, Pluffleff.
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty violent.
Pluffleff's
so I don't know what kind of rating it's gonna get.
Well, probably what is that? NR not rated or?
Yeah, probably something like
that.
It had
to be MA or something.
And since it's animated, they can get away with a hell of a lot worse shit than a live action.
That is true.
Show.
Animation,
because you can put whatever you want in there, and it's Netflix, as was said.
It is kind of crazy how far you can go with like Looney Tunes and stuff like that. They nearly kill all of their characters. They're but they're okay afterwards. It's fine, but like. Mm-hmm. Doesn't this teach people to like drop mallets on people's heads and stuff? No, because they're not idiots.
No.
No. Even children aren't that stupid. So.
No, but they'll eat Tide Pods, but not
They will.
Little Timmy Gallagher, his father, the other day. Busted his melon.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. I watched the trailer. And it looks good, but it's probably the writing's probably not going to be there. I feel like I have way too much faith in Netflix. But recently, on a related note, I watched a new series with my wife. We watched the first couple of episodes. It's called In From the Cold, and it's supposed to be like a former Russian spy getting recruited by the CIA, and it's sort of future.
Oh, I saw the commercial for that.
It is so fucking bad. Like, it is terrible. It is the worst writing I have ever fucking. It's so bad. It's hilarious. Like, you should do a drinking game and watch this show.
Is it a foreign show?
Cold? No. Have you ever watched any? God, have you heard
the foreign shows are actually pretty good.
The foreign shows are really good. All the Korean shit is fucking phenomenal. Really like, right? We just finished.
They do so much space stuff, man. It's so fucking cool.
What's the one called? Hellbound. That was really good too. But that aside, no, that show is like. Do you ever seen the show Blind Spot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's. Okay, Blind Spot, that's like TV level writing. Like it's not amazing, you know, it's kind of okay to watch, but the
Is
writing's
it better?
not great.
Is it better than Supernatural?
Oh, fuck you. Supernatural is amazing. So okay, here's the thing. Supernatural is like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? Like it's super cheesy. It's written to be super cheesy and ridiculous, and they do it right. This show tries to be cheesy, and they do it very, very, very wrong.
Oh no, because no, I do agree with you. I like Supernatural. I watched all of it. So.
But no, you're fine. But with Cuphead, it could go either way, right? Because it's got really good animation. The game is really good. You just don't know if the writing's there or not. Like, it depends. Like, if they put these fucking in from the cold writers on this shit, we're fucked. It's gonna be terrible. But that being said, and I don't think this isn't related to Netflix, but Crytek Hunt Showdown, they're working on a live series with Binge, a live action series for Hunt Showdown.
Glad their priorities are in order.
Yeah, right. Like,
yeah.
There's no.
As
there's
the
like
chat's
no
been blowing
story.
up with how bad.
Instead of fixing the jank in their game,
Yeah,
let's
right.
make a show.
Like, make the game work better first before you make a fucking show. Like Cuphead, I get it was successful. It was really good. It's really good animation.
Are they selling the rights though, or are they making a show?
Well,
because if they're selling the rights, then you can't complain about them, taking game development away. They're just funding their game development. They're just selling licenses.
I mean, it's not going to be
to work for them. But if they're doing it, then they're really stupid. Then they're
I think I'm sure they're partnering with some, but they're partnering with other people to do.
But I mean, are they actively involved? Or are they just licensing it out? Is probably would be my biggest question on that. Because if you're just licensing it out, then who gives a shit, man? License that shit out all day long. People should be doing that more with their licenses.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this could go either way. Because the world that they created is fucking awesome. There's no real story in like the game itself, really. Like, I think we've made assumptions as to what it is you're doing. Like, I think Sal said it's purgatory, and where you're like hunting monsters in purgatory to redeem your soul or whatever, but there really is no like actual lore that I can see for the game.
I mean, that doesn't bode super well for a show premise.
No,
exactly.
Here's the thing.
There's like what murder.
There's potential. There's potential for a lot of story because of the
since there is none
world they set up. Yeah, that too. There's no story, but it's a beautiful. It has like a Lovecraftian feel.
Well, those elite
Western,
the legendary hunters usually have a backstory on them.
Yeah, the legendary hunter. So it is a little bit more like Dark Souls, where like there's a little bit of story.
Extrapolate a story from that.
If you read all the individual bios for each of the legendary hunters, you'll get some story. So the story would be there probably, like Sal said. I think you said earlier. What did you say? You said who would be a good Sheriff Hardin?
Oh, yeah. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Dude.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be a good Sheriff Hardin. Yeah, okay.
Sheriff Hardin.
I could see that. But that being said, that reminded me of Supernatural, and I felt like when we started rewatching Supernatural, my wife and I, it's probably the third time we've watched it. And while we've been playing Hunt, and I feel like I get, because they're hunters. I mean, so I get Hunt vibes, and I really want to play Hunt after we watched more Supernatural or whatever. But I could see it could be something like that, like if the hunters were hunting monsters or something, or maybe it's I don't know. It's really we don't have enough information yet, I think, is what it is, really, to know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I know. Who knows which way they'll take the story, right? The companies usually take liberties when it comes to how the story is going to progress or how it's going to flesh out, right? For all we know, it could be just the Wild West.
Yeah,
just a Wild West
movie, maybe with like some demons kind of stuff, like maybe it's like a supernatural version of Westworld. I like fucking Westworld. Westworld was good.
Westworld was It's still going, isn't it? There's still another
if it is, I don't know when the next season's coming out. I think it's probably delayed by COVID.
Who knows? Yeah, everything is.
But I hope it doesn't turn into an Army of the Dead type of movie, though. That fucking movie.
Do you know that World of Darkness is doing a live action supposedly?
For what, like specifically?
Just that they're partnering and stuff like that. Like that, there's not enough material out on it right now, but supposedly they're starting to make feelers out there on trying to do live action stuff. It would probably be Vampire because it's the most popular property
Vampire
they have.
Yeah,
they've already did a TV show back in the day.
Just throw some werewolves in there and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, man! If they threw in all of the World of Darkness, I think it would be great to just do a World of Darkness show.
Teeny boppers love vampires and make them sparkly.
Oh god, yeah!
Don't make them. Sparkle.
Don't make them sparkler. No, like
make the werewolf sparkly.
Yeah, there you go.
So that horrible show or movie,
Twilight.
I had one incident with Twilight where I walked in and I saw I saw some people hitting or playing baseball and they like hit the ball and it went like flying like 1,000,000 miles like away, and it was like they're all like super strong, and I would like looked at it and I like remember just seeing like just 30 seconds of a scene of people playing baseball, and for some reason I knew. I just looked over and I was like looked at my roommate and I'm like, is this Twilight? And she's like, yes. And it's like, I'm gonna go in my room and play some video games.
You guys can watch your Twilight.
But Vampire the Masquerade I loved, so
get your inner emo on.
Completely different. Like I really like the World of Darkness vampire mythos.
Yes,
of Cain and Abel and all that stuff. It's really
I like the werewolf mythos.
Yeah, the Garu. I like the mythos too. I mean, I that was the only. I think werewolf was the only thing I story told. I still have the book. I think it's like 2nd edition or something. It's the one that's got the claws through the cover. The whole claw holes.
Did you real quick? Sorry, just remind me. Did you watch the Cowboy Bebop live
Christ.
action?
Yeah,
I fucking did.
I did. Yeah.
It got canceled from what I hear.
Yeah,
thank God.
It's been canceled.
Good.
It wasn't. I mean,
one of my friends is very sad about the cancellation.
It could have been better.
I watched
the
first 2 episodes and I was like, I don't, like the cartoon, the anime is so much better.
Absolutely. That's not something I would argue.
And that's another thing. Yeah, people they took liberties with the story and changed around shit and made it.
Well, you have to do that when not just have to, but as a creative person, you're like either you completely stifle your creativity or.
Well, here's the thing, though, you're supposed to improve on it, right? Not just.
Yeah, but one of the things too, and then not
they tried and failed.
It wasn't great. I liked a good portion of it, but I wouldn't. It didn't live up to the hype. It doesn't live up to the original Cowboy Bebop at all. And one of the things we just said earlier about like with Cuphead, you can get away with a lot more shit in animation than you can on the screen. So like you can do anything in animation. I still feel like they could have done a better job with the action and made the cheesiness maybe a little less cheesy. Like they put a little too much cheese, I think, in there. It was less Asian, more Asian fusion, because Asian fusion is just Asian food with cheese on it. And that's what this really was.
But to be honest, I think I encourage any kind of like art being created by Netflix and all these other companies that are just kind of putting out crazy movies and stuff. Not everything is going to be Marvel quality. And
no, absolutely not. But it whether it liked it or not, it had to live up to a standard of the original. And
it's like watching Attack on Titan and then watching the live action Attack on Titan.
I would never even attempt to watch the live action of Attack on Titan. That's terrible. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. But I think that's all we have for the news. And we are going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to be talking about NFTs in the future of gaming. And what the fuck is an NFT? We'll tell you what an NFT is. Should you buy one? We'll tell you whether or not you should buy one.
Cringe.
Will we sell some? We'll tell you whether or not we'll sell some.
Cringe.
We'll be back after this break.
It all started when I had that first shot of vodka. Before I knew it, I woke up soaked in gasoline, lying in a gutter somewhere. I decided to take out my cell and call Andy. The phone rang several times. Someone finally picked up.
Hello?
It was Kim's voice. But first we have to eat and so Sam, he's violating German law. We don't like the bad words. So Sam, German law. You violated German first.
No comment, officer.
Welcome back. This is Strength in Gaming. I'm here with Salvador Madrigal, Devin motherfucking Steele, Frozen motherfucking Fallout. And we are going to talk about NFTs and the future of gaming. Now, what is an NFT? An NFT, I like how my camera just got really blurry when I said that. That was beautiful.
Very cinematic.
A non-fungible token. I think the best way to describe it is it's basically a digital certificate of authenticity. Really, right? Like, I mean, like the NFT isn't the actual item, like the image of a Bored Ape or Sal in his morning wear. Like,
I just got out of the shower.
It's actually the like encrypted certificate of authenticity of like, I own the original one of these, because it is the internet and there is, copy and paste. You can right click and save. Like that's the internet. That's the digital age. But these are these tokens that say, here is, and it depends on what it is. Like, there's art, there's all kinds of stuff.
If you think about it, it's like a crypto coin, right? Like you farm whatever.
It's kind of like that, but
but
it's more like it's more like another extra step, right? Because a lot of NFTs are purchased with cryptocurrency. So I mean, that's how you purchase them, really. But it's like another step in fucking this crazy digital age that we live in right now. So
I've heard two really good ways of explaining what an NFT are, if you wouldn't mind me jumping in with that. So one way of explaining what an NFT is that it's a ledger. Like, it just allows you to be like, if you own the NFT for a song, you can't tell the person that is posting your song somewhere to take it down or anything like that. The NFT isn't about ownership of the real world thing or whatever. It's just like a marker on the ledger, and then somebody else has to interpret that data. Another really good way of like explaining it to people who've played or used baseball cards or anything is that it's much more similar to a baseball card. You don't own the actual player. You just own the player's baseball card. Now you own a player's NFT, and it's only that NFT for that leisure, where there can be multiple different NFT. You can have an NFT for a song or whatever on one one currency system that the NFTs is like, what is it? What's the big one that everybody, Ethereum or whatever?
Ethereum, Bitcoin, fiat, I think was the other thing.
Right. So you could have one for fiat, one for Bitcoin, one for, you could have one for each one of the different ledgers that are out there. But it's all about how you are interpreting that kind of thing. But it's very similar to baseball cards. And I feel like bringing it into games is trying to bring it into a Magic the Gathering kind of system, because baseball card really is completely useless. You don't play games with it or do anything with it. It's just an item. Magic cards you do something with.
I think the most expensive Magic card would be an alpha, beta, Black Lotus, and I think that's only priced at around $30,000. Which, yes, I know that sounds insane, but the stuff we're going to get into right now with NFTs, I mean, you're talking millions of dollars. It's stupid. It's ridiculous.
Way more of a scam. Way more. And I mean, that's like, I think that there is some value in baseball cards, even and
it's
stamps and stuff like that,
and stuff like that. And
those are
like, if it's tangible, it actually exists in the world, right?
Right. There's reasons why there's scarcity on that. This is complete and utter fake scarcity that is being created, and the amount of energy and the amount of time and the amount of made up bullshit that goes into NFTs is what really pisses me off. Like, but the technology itself, I think, is fucking awesome.
Would you say that grinds your gears, Frozen?
It grinds my fucking gears, man.
Yeah, I kind of agree. The current state of NFT is garbage, because people are stealing other people's images and selling them. There was an artist from Deviant Arts. She had her picture stolen and sold as NFTs. When she tried to make an NFT out of her own images, it says there's already one floating out there. So contact whichever exchange is holding it and telling them, to take it off. And that's I think that's going to be the biggest problem, right? Is people stealing other people's images,
that's crazy.
or
that's
stuff
crazy.
And selling it as their own.
It's like if you were to log into the DMV, and with your personal information, and it would say no, that someone already else has.
Somebody already has it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and then what sucks is the person's already taken the money and ran, right? So the site takes it down. What does that mean? It's no longer available for sale, but somebody already made sales on it. That money's there.
Speaking about taking the money and running.
I'm sorry, it was
verse.
Token the money.
Token the money. Token the money.
Proud foot.
I will token. Blockverse, which was supposed to be like an exclusive NFT version of like a Minecraft style game. They did what some might refer to as a rug pull. It was over $1 million, right? That they made selling the NFTs.
Now they're not saying they're saying they didn't do a rug pull, but
no, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
And I actually believe their story to a certain degree, because it is so like the whole thing is just fucked up. Like that's the whole problem with like the way that we're implementing NFTs right now is just stupid.
Yeah,
like, this is a great
supposedly,
example of that.
Allegedly, what happened to the Blockverse people, the devs and stuff, was that when they did this, over $1 million worth of I forget the number specific for each NFT, was like $124 a piece or something, and they ended up selling like $1 million worth of this game. And then they got like attacked by fucking like hackers and net trolls and shit, supposedly. So what happened to the public at first was just like they took the money and ran. Like literally the $1 million or whatever that was out there, it was gone. The game developers were gone. Their Discord disappeared. All their shit that existed was gone. But then they resurfaced X amount of days or months later. And we're saying that that's what happened. Like they got fucked over, and they were trying to I think they were able to like refund like 3/4, or I should say that they're refunding like 3/4 of what was out there. So there's still like 250K or something, bullshit, so that they can keep it to continue the development or whatever. But of course,
it's total bullshit.
The angle that's just so that they don't get prosecuted and they can a little bit less money.
it's the whole deal with cryptocurrency, and I don't know if you've seen that story lately with Ice Poseidon. He was a big streamer on Twitch, and he started his own cryptocurrency. And what he ended up doing was
Did he call it Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, he stole $300,000 of that cryptocurrency.
The cryptocurrency.
Just because it started, you know how cryptocurrency started like going down a lot.
Goes
recently.
down, goes up, and goes up, goes down.
So he took the money and he ran $300,000, and he left all of his investors in the lurch. And he was promoting it on his social media and all this. And he was telling some other big streamer that no, this is totally legit. You know, I'm putting in this much amount in it to get the funds going and this and that. And he ended up just jacking 300,000. He was making videos of him going and buying a brand new fucking Tesla, dude, like 10 days.
Okay, so you can't like good luck. Unless you have an ass load of money, you have to like put a down payment on a Tesla and then wait like a year to get one. Like unless you could just like grease palms or something, because that's dumb. And that's like that's what reminded me of fucking when No Man's Sky first happened and they made an ass load of money and then they just like it was a shitty game. And then later on they were like, I guess we should make it a good game.
I think there's too many exchanges right now for NFTs to be regulated.
True.
Even though they're like, unregulated, even though they're like crypto
Bitcoin,
unregulated.
Yeah, crypto, Bitcoin, like they tried to regulate it.
Yeah, no, but there's not people stealing. Well, there's people stealing Bitcoin from other people, right? But that's due to user error, right? They get their shit hacked because their passwords aren't strong enough or whatever.
Yeah, that's me. I need to increase my password strength.
I think that there is. So I think the technology is really interesting, to be honest. Yeah, because there's different. Absolutely. Because it's just a different way of databasing information, and instead of putting one source of truth in a server and saying this is the server that holds the source of the ledger that or the you spread it out to every, it's unbreakable basically. It has no central source of truth. It goes off of everything that's built off of everything. It's a really interesting kind of technology that allows for certain things that do concern me with gaming and like with EVE Online and so recently I've been watching a lot of different videos on like NFTs and EVE Online and what we're kind of doing with it in one of the games that I greatly love. Luckily, it looks like they're moving more towards being very cautious and trying to they're playing with it a little bit. And they made like an NFT for a kill mail during an Alliance tournament. That's like an official event that kind of happens, but it's not part of in the game or anything like that. And they just gave it away to one of the victors or whatever.
Yeah, so they didn't sell it.
It's a special event token, basically. It's a badge that, in that kind of NFT stuff, I'm not too much against. Like, oh, you were a participant in a major event. We give you this NFT, and we're going to partner with this ledger or whatever. This we're going to. They probably did Ethereum, I'm guessing, or whatever. But I find those kind of things to be interesting. One of the things that I found interesting maybe for other MMORPGs, but I hope does not come to EVE, and I'll explain why. But I think that it's really kind of cool is that there was an explanation of a dude who is like, basically like, imagine you've got a sword, right? And this sword in this video game has tied itself to this NFT system that basically when you go around and you kill something, like you kill this major boss, all of a sudden it gets leveled up to become the Orc Slayer of Kothor or whatever. And then you sell that to, you out level it and you sell it off to another player, and then he goes around and kills a bunch of goblins, and then it becomes the goblin slayer of Orc Thor or whatever. And then, builds this history, and the item levels up and it gets more powerful as people do stuff with it. And then it's an out of game system that allows you to RMT that item. So that in a normal game, you could just say, like, because CCP even said, like, during some of this discussion that I was seeing, CCP was on the dude's stream and was basically like, yeah, but we could do that in a database. Like, we don't need NFTs to do something like that. And he's like, yes, but then you can't RMT it. Well, he didn't say that, but in my head, I was like, but yes, you can't RMT that. And because it's not legal to RMT in your game, but with NFTs, that's outside of your game.
For the listeners, can you explain RMT?
Real-time money trade, so making money. Okay. and that's what NFTs are in the video game industry. It seems like everybody's pushing for this. You're going to make money out by playing our game, and RMTs is going to be the way that you're going to be able to do this kind of thing. But EVE Online would have the same problem as I think Diablo and many of the other games that tried to do real money trading. Really, Diablo's the best.
I remember the the real money auction house. I remember that. Yep. I bought a lot of stuff.
That's the thing, though, right? With the Diablo auction house, it was you can auction just fucking everything, right?
Right, and it diluted the game.
Yeah,
you didn't make that. That was the major thing. And one of the things is it would introduce golden ammo. We touched on this before, but basically spending real life money on an item that can only be obtained by real life money. Because let's say they did this let's just take that sword example, or if you're familiar with EVE Online, abyssal modules might be a similar kind of thing you could do this with. But in any case, you like level up this item or whatever, you make this special item and you can sell it for real life cash. Why the hell would you ever sell it for gold if it's really special or in-game currency? Because in-game currency, you're probably not going to want as the likelihood that the most powerful and badass items that end up getting created out of this system are available to anybody with not real life cash is actually very low with the NFT system.
And one of the things,
the thing with that game though is the yellow items were way better than the legendary items. So there was a lot more. You can get rare items a lot more readily than you could legendary items, and legendaries had already built-in affixes, right? There was not a random roll on it, and I think that's what destroyed the auction house, is because yellow items were a lot better than the legendary items
because of the randomness.
Yeah. But if it could be affixed to something that has non-random, right? It's not a random item drop, it's just a very low drop rate on it. I think that would have probably worked out way better for Diablo. And the reason they have problems with the real money auction houses is they're not getting a cut of the money, right? That's the only reason they care about it.
They did get a cut of the money.
No, that's why they were perfectly fine with it at the beginning, right? But it's because of the scarcity of the rare were so fucking abundant that it ruined the ecosystem.
Yeah.
See, I found this to be really interesting because I had a lot of ideas as to why the auction house failed. And then I started trying reading up on it just before this, before this podcast. And I was like, nobody's saying what I'm thinking. And they were like, it broke the game. It just wasn't fun to play.
No, it did.
The diminishing returns on how many people were actually playing the game after a while. They were working the market instead of actually farming the game.
And I was
botting.
I needed better DPS, and I would just go on there and just buy a better crossbow for my fucking demon.
Right, instead of farming it, which you would have to do in Diablo 2, which was one of the core features of why people played Diablo that today.
Is still one of the best games ever because of the way it was done. It didn't have any of that crap, and it was truly random and procedurally generated. Like every level was completely everything was random every time.
And there were auction houses, third-party auction houses, just one of the reasons why they
Sam
did
knows
that.
he used them.
Yeah, I paid for those too, but those I don't think those were 100% on.
There was at least trading with gold was allowed, like in game.
No,
like,
absolutely.
Real money, you're right, was not allowed. But
I bought stuff in Diablo 2 with real money.
So I think though that a lot of the concerns that I had though with the auction house that I thought broke the game actually is fixed with NFTs and is not the reason why the game broke, according to what I can find out. There is a lot more to do with this. The game doesn't work with, but EVE Online works perfectly with this. You can already do this. They have an auction house or whatever, you know, World of Warcraft already has you can't do the real life money trade, but it'll allow you to do real life money trade. The concern is that certain items will eventually become only real life money. The really best of the best items in any of those situations
that could
become
be
golden
bad.
ammo.
Like if it were just you know, purely cosmetic, I wouldn't have a problem with that, and I would probably want something uniquely cosmetic because I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would work within the ecosystem of whatever game you're gonna be doing it, right? When it goes to outside the game, that's when it gets kind of muddy, right? You get people that are, you know, the way the housing market works is they buy houses for investment instead of for people to actually live in. So they end up just reselling their shit for higher because somebody else wants to invest in it and sell it for higher instead of actually using in the game.
And that's exactly almost what NFTs are, right? Just purely, it's all investment and speculation, and that's all. Like what their current implementation is, they don't even do any of the stuff that we're talking about of how to use the ledger to power up items and to integrate it with how the game interprets what an NFT is and stuff like that. There's a lot of interesting shit with that, and they're not even fucking doing that. No, what they're doing right now with NFTs is they made a map of the world and said you can buy a chunk of the of wherever, and it's worth $30,000 or whatever for this little chunk of not real like thing that's just a map of the world that says that you own this chunk of land now in the digital world that is not a real digital world, doesn't exist in any way, shape, or form. You can't interact with it. It's just a fucking map. Like,
yeah, but I think that's why it's not good. But like with Facebook and the metaverse coming out soon, you're gonna have like homes, like selling shit. Selling shit
is a whole
selling shit within that metaverse as an NFT would probably work a lot better, right, than if it was outside of that, because then you got Microsoft making sure that it's your actual stuff, right? You're not stealing it for somebody else. And that would probably cut down on people jacking your pictures or your voice or face or whatever,
or
and use it for
off.
Yeah,
or maybe that's what you
no, you kind of want that, right?
You could buy a unique jack off NFT.
But yeah, the way it currently is it's rife for people to just steal from each other. And then
you know what, Sal, right. I don't think you get it. And Nicholas Poir, the VP of Ubisoft, doesn't think we get it either.
Yeah, no, we don't.
We just don't get it. I think when Ubisoft embraced NFTs like immediately, like they were the early adopter of video game companies for NFTs, and let's just
they caught a huge backlash.
Yeah, the gaming community was not into it, but they just don't get it, right?
That's because I think that one of the things that's a problem with the gaming industry right now is that there's a certain part of it in the beginning that capitalism and stuff is always for profit is always going to be a strong driver in the world that we have today. Absolutely. But I feel like gaming originally had this like passion for virtual
masturbation
interaction, right? Masturbation. It's basically like
my dad called video games mental masturbation.
Well, the thing is that a lot of people that complain about video games will sit in front of a non-interactive TV for 90% of their downtime, and it's not even interactive. We're reading, we're interacting, we're making choices, and even Netflix is caught on to like that some TV shows maybe can be a little bit more interactive. I don't think they succeeded very well, to be honest.
It was interesting.
It's interesting. I liked it too, but I could see how the majority, but it's still, that is a medium that is very interesting and very cool. And it was about exploring the creativity of humankind and how we can actually like tell stories in a whole new way that we've never been able to tell them before. And now it's all about fucking money. Because it is really like creativity and storytelling is one of the most profitable industries in the universe, because it will always, it's something that always captivates the humankind, and you can't lump it all together in one. It's got movies and comic books, and you lump it all together, though. Storytelling in general is what we fucking do as humans, and we pay a lot for it. And so we're at a point though that I feel like that we're all about the profit right now, because there is so much profit, so much dumb money in the universe. Like just the existence of the lottery is a proven point that you can be like, just people throw money away on stupid shit all the time, just for the thrill of maybe getting something bigger back, you know? And so they're gonna be very predatory on that. And I feel like that's what NFTs do. That's what a lot of these mobile games do, is just really feed into this. Like there's the ability to just prey on these people and take so much money out of the system and put it into their pockets that they do not deserve.
That's become the new dream, right? Where before, you want to have a house, some kids, be married, and this and that. Now it's like, well, maybe I can get rich, because look at this guy on TikTok. He got rich for doing this stupid shit.
Don't get me started on TikTok.
And now they've seen that the random individual can have power with trading stocks, making millions of dollars off of.
Which, by the way,
GameStop.
Sal, you could totally make a lot of money on TikTok with them filters. I'm just saying.
Nah, I can't put myself out like that, dude. I'll get stalked, and then somebody's gonna take my manhood.
No, it's okay. I'll pay for protection.
Take my goodie hole in some back alley somewhere.
You ain't got no goodie hole anymore. It's gone, bro.
At my age, I'm happy I just have a hole. But Ubisoft went at the wrong way of trying to sell NFTs to public, right?
They went the fucking
they went full greed.
They went full Blizzard. They went full. Do you guys have phones?
The thing is that I'm kind of happy that there is a backlash against greed to a certain degree, as much as because there is a large amount of love for the GameStop shit that happened, and but all of these things are all fucking like just making money out of fucking nothing. No work, no real shit is fucking going. Bitcoin, as much as I find the technology to be interesting, and it's up to like what 60,000. It took like a dip or whatever. I don't know. That's some crazy shit. That's interesting. I wish I would have bought some Bitcoin in the very beginning when somebody was trying to sell me it for $100, and I was like, "You're crazy." But I feel like eventually somebody's gonna fucking take the bag for this. Eventually somebody, I don't foresee any of these technologies, the way that they're currently implemented, the massive amount of power that it takes to just mine a Bitcoin at this point is not worth actually the worth of Bitcoin, even at the astronomical level that it's at this point.
Well, yeah, like just Bitcoin, Governor Abbott was telling Bitcoin miners to turn their machines off because of the big winter snap that's going to come through Texas, because they can't handle the load on the system. He was telling them, could you guys
Texas
please
can't handle many loads.
And from my understanding is you don't need to do it this way. It doesn't need
you can do it passively.
The proof of work does not need to be so power hungry. It's just the way that it was originally built. And that's the reason why I think that there is potential in this technology, just like there's potential in the internet. But as humans do, the first real mass adoption of a technology is going to be stupidly implemented if it's one of the most powerful, cool things that exist in the universe.
Yeah,
I think Sal said it before.
Ethereum's about to, porn drives the world. Ethereum is eventually going to change over to a different system, so they're not going to be able to use those GPUs anymore. I think it's going to be based off of CPU speed and stuff. So that's going to be a lot of, and then if there's any kind of dip, all these miners are going to lose their shirts, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to
the problem
their homes and
any system that says that at the end of the line somebody's holding the bag and it's really fucking bad for that person, and it's usually a bunch of really poor people.
Pyramid schemes.
It ends up being basically the same end result as any of these. It's a scam. It's straight up and that's one of the most dangerous things in the world, because you can make a lot of money getting involved in a scam. You can.
Yeah, I think it's
somebody's going to hold the bag.
I feel like
the stock market is a scam.
Yeah, stuff like this has made, that scam much more easily accessible to anybody, right? Because you can just accidentally scam a bunch of people and make a bunch of money, like even if you weren't trying to scam anybody. Like that's how that shit works. Because literally, like Frozen said, he was like, I kind of wish I spent $100 on Bitcoin back when it first started, when someone said this thing, and I was like, that sounds stupid, because you would have been able to make a ton of money, possibly. But it would have technically been scamming or being part of the scam.
Right, but exactly. Right. Well, but I think the key point there is what Sam is pointing out, is that you are then part of the scam. You may have made a bunch of money, but you left somebody with the bag. You're leaving somebody with the bag,
and that was one of the things that
screwed, and you're okay with that.
I discussed it with my wife, like, should we try Bitcoin mining? Because we got the capability. We have our own property. We have money for the power and the parts and stuff. And when we had that discussion, one of the things she said was, I don't know how I feel about the fact that we could just potentially be laundering drug money, for a cartel or something. You don't know. You have no idea what you're doing with your processing and transactions. It's encrypted. You don't know what it is. You could be contributing to child trafficking, like technically speaking, but at the same time, every dollar bill you have probably has cocaine residue on it. Like it's just another form of money. Just because the money came from a certain place doesn't mean that I'm a part of that. But we had that discussion.
No, but it's the system of how you got that money is kind of crazy. Is what I think.
Yeah, but I guess I felt like I would have been okay with doing it because it feels like a gray area to me, not like I'm directly responsible for whatever transaction that's happening. But still, I think it's a pretty good way to say it. It's like all of it's kind of a scam, because the stock market's a scam, right?
Yeah.
So, right. And a lot of capitalism is investing. Everything just kind of is.
Well, that is actually some of the core foundations of capitalism, which is what me and Samson play EVE Online, and that's one of the core elements of EVE Online is actually
somebody over
that you can scam and break trust in EVE Online. There is literally the ability for you to go in and scam, and it's a core foundation of ultra capitalism. Now in restricted, because and that's one of the things, like, people talk about communism or capitalism and stuff like that, but you don't understand all of these systems in their purest form is nothing you will ever see in the universe, because in its purest form, it's a very different system than when you get a human involved, because we're always we live in the United States, we'd say we're capitalist, but we're very social. We have social security. We're not commies. We don't have healthcare. But anyways, but
don't say that word, socialism.
There's this whole system of integrating a whole different way of how you kind of manipulate and build the system. And the capitalism we have right now is there's a lot of restrictions on it and stuff like that. But in ultra capitalism, it's about scamming. Like, scamming is you're taking tons of money from stupid people, and there's lots of stupid money in the universe, from rich to poor. There's it doesn't matter.
And then there's the whole moral side of things, right? Like, if you're doing it to the rich, you don't feel as bad, right? It's like, okay, they have the money to spend, we'll take it from them, it's cool, don't worry about it.
That's one of the reasons why I don't believe purely in capitalism. I like the concept. It's what we got right now. That's pretty good, for better than feudalism and a bunch of other fucking things.
You want to have some serfs.
You don't want any serfs.
But we are serfs. That's the thing, is
Lord.
there is no real difference between, in capitalism, you're a serf that eventually can become a king through money instead of birthright, which is, I think, better. Birthright is kind of stupid
Silly.
when it comes to how powerful you can get in the universe.
Well, your
but
dad
money is
didn't
also
give you
stupid.
a small loan of $1 million.
But that's where money gets kind of tainted in that whole thing, is that if you already have money, you can hand it down to your children, that immediately boost them up, type kind of thing, and make them into royalty in the system that we have. So that's one of the reasons why it's very similar to feudalism. Like, there isn't much of a huge difference on how we kind of handle things. I
think the most purest form of that is in Korea, South Korea, where the ultra rich can basically get away with murder and manipulate markets and make people disappear, and just because they have the money, they're allowed to do it. They can get look at the lady from Samsung. What she did, she apologized and went to jail for 5 years for all the inside trading, and she got to keep most of the fucking billions and billions of dollars that she made.
Yep. No, and that
probably only happened because she was female. She's like, if it was a dude, you wouldn't even heard about it.
Well,
not so much.
That's interesting. But to bring it back to NFTs, though, this is like the new scam. This is the new,
it's the latest and greatest, or not greatest.
Like, there are certain things, though, like the stock market can be kind of interesting in the sense of, like, if you invest in Microsoft, it's a pretty good deal that you're going to get your money. It's not a gamble. There are gambles inside of the stock market. That's where everybody plays ventures. like GameStop is a nice stock to play with. But there is the idea of investing in somebody, and I don't think investment itself is a bad thing. It's when it becomes a video game and people's lives are on the line that it becomes fucking crazy.
Ender's Game? Are we going to be in Ender's Game soon? Frozen, all these wars we've been fighting, all the crew members on our Eve ships are actually real people in some other dimension, and they've all been fucking dying every time we lose a ship.
Lost a whole generation of people.
And we're these like fucked up gods in this game.
Well, what is afterlife then? That's my question.
What is the afterlife?
What is it for them? For them,
Maybe it's this.
They come here.
They
become. Now I feel really bad.
See, it's terrible.
It's isekai somewhere else. Yeah,
they just isekai somewhere else.
Going back to the NFT thing,
going back to the topic. What show are you on, Sal? This is strength.
There has to be some sort of a check on what can be NFT'd, right?
Yeah.
Because right now it's basically fucking anything and on the internet.
Well, that's the interesting thing, is that because it doesn't need to have a direct tie to the item that it's an NFT of. So, for example, like we were saying, like with music, just because I own the NFT doesn't mean that I own the music because I own the NFT of a music song. I don't own the music, so I can't tell anybody to take it down. But then it has the same problem of it's not connected to that, so the owner of the song doesn't have to approve the NFT.
Yeah, there was
because it's not connected.
I think there was a story. I can't remember exactly what it was. I read it like really quickly. Somebody bought an NFT of Lord of the Rings, a picture of Smaug, I think it was, and they thought that they had the rights to Lord of the Rings after that. They owned
that's pretty dumb, right? Like, it's a screenshot, bruh. Come on, calm down. Like,
but he would. But I could see how you could see that he would own that screenshot. That if anybody had posted that screenshot somewhere, that he could ask for a takedown on that. And that's not what NFTs are at all.
No, because it's
made up virtual ledger that you bought a
certificate. It's a certificate of authenticity, right? Like, you
own that poster.
I have the original. That is the most you can do, is say I own the original, and that's a copy. You can't tell them to take it down.
Well,
You can't
it's even
sue
worse
them.
than that. It's not even an original. It's
it's the original
digital,
unique. It's the original. It's the certificate
non-fungible.
of the original unique piece.
It's
right?
one
So
of
like,
100 that you get to own.
So if someone steals it and makes the copy of it and sells that, it's or just post it up. You can't tell them to take it down. Like they didn't sell it or anything, but it's not the NFT. However, someone could save it and then resell it as a different NFT, and there's no check or balance for that, right? Like this is the other NFT.
No, there is a little bit of that, like we were saying, because the person tried to post up their own picture as an NFT and was told, no, we already have this NFT.
Okay, yes, okay.
And so there is
because it was on that specific ledger.
But you can go to another ledger, right? You can go to another thing and say, hey, I'm going to put it on there. But then you can also just alter things just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, and then it's unique.
As long as the data is not exactly the same, because it's just data. It's all that your ownership of is a chunk of data inside of a blockchain, a chain of data.
Speaking of unique chains,
what do you
data,
think, Devin?
Devin has a story. He has a unique story. I think we should sell it as an NFT on Strength in Gaming.
That's a good idea.
The story of the NFT. So, Devin, would you please regale us with your story about NFT? No?
Yes. So,
right.
Just fun fact, because like you guys been going, I've been mostly just kind of listening, honestly, because it's a little bit over my head. I don't really deal with most of the topics, but fun story just to say that one of my wife's friends actually got into selling NFTs and it saved her house. She's just like an Instagram artist, and she made like $120,000 in 6 hours.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. If you're the actual person who owns that art, you're allowed to sell it as an NFT, right? But then you get into the gray area where people are stealing your art. Like these people who put their art on Deviant Arts or one of these other message boards, and somebody takes that and turns it into an NFT, and you're trying to capitalize on that, and they say, hey, somebody's already made that and they've made all this money off of it.
Yeah, that's messed up. If it's like an actual original thing that you created, and if you're the artist behind it, like that's.
And I think the copyright system is going to have to adapt and change to where you should be able to do your own copyright stuff on your images through the web, right? Like have a certain image embedded.
Well, it's like right now, like copyright, trademark, all that kind of shit, it costs fucking money and it takes fucking time, and you need to know what you're doing or hire somebody that knows.
And it's also stupid as fuck in a lot of systems. You know, like I'm going to copyright the word statue is or whatever, like it's just like but I mean, I guess is and even statue is, but there are some weird shit that is just out there that has been our copyright laws, the whole system. The thing is, though, is that story, though, I find really hits home on the sense that there is a lot of potential in these systems to give the original creator power to get money. Like it's something that, the internet, I think, has done a great job at doing. Everybody like points to porn or all the Facebook bullshit that the internet has done. But if you look at what the internet has done for the ability for the artist to get their art out there, it's unfucking believable, man. Like
no, seriously, like there's so many different sites.
OnlyFans.
Well, Patreon. So bleeding over into that, right? Because Patreon is like between OnlyFans and like stuff that we do or whatever, like because you can also do like OnlyFans type stuff or what it's known for. But But getting your stuff out there, I mean, like literally you could, like, if you wanted people to see your work, you go on any website and post it, But if you don't have any sort of system set up, like for example, if it's a YouTube video, and it's my YouTube video, I have, digital rights, and exclusive access to that channel with those videos on it. And so like someone can post the link someplace else and say it's theirs, but if when they get there, it's ours. Like,
and then there's also
it takes a lot more work to download the video and then repost it as yours. But it's not going to be.
That does happen.
Yeah,
it absolutely does happen.
There's also
still a trail
too.
There's fair use and there's also a trail, right? Like if you literally put out a straight copy of it, YouTube's just going to say, "Fuck you, this guy has copyright on it." But if you alter it and stuff, then that's different. Like that with fair use. But there's still that like in that case, there's still like a digital version of this is absolutely the original because it was published first on this account. And unless someone hacks that or changes the information's in the database, but those databases aren't supposed to be public, right? Those are supposed to be, secure, private.
Then again, that's YouTube protecting you and your copyright, right?
Yeah, exactly. There
has to be something that's similar.
It's akin to one of these ledgers saying, no, someone already posted that. So there's still that disconnect between like the real world and the digital world. Because
that's why I'm looking forward to
the
metaverse, because I'm gonna have the protection of Meta, and I'm gonna sell the shit. I'm gonna sell the shit out of NFTs. Please, when that shit comes out.
Please explain the metaverse. Please explain the metaverse to our listeners, because I read a small portion about it and I'm still a little hazy on the details.
Here's Facebook and the Zuck has an image of what the metaverse is. It's basically Ready Player One, right? They've already started implementing some of it. You can have your own room now on the Quest, and you can set up basically like a virtual apartment, right? And what they're planning on doing with NFTs is you're going to have an NFT market from within their browsers within the headsets in virtual reality. So people are going to be able to sell NFTs on there as well, like pictures or statues or whatever they decide to sell on there. But you're going to have the added protection of Zuck stealing your information, but he's going to let you keep.
You also
let you keep the NFT, right? I think they're going to get a small cut of it.
You have an advantage as an artist that has probably rarely shared any of your stuff. And now that if you created new stuff, you as a person who's slightly more in the know about this stuff than like the average person or the average artist, you already know ahead of time. So if you create something unique in your home by yourself and then you upload it and then you sell it as an NFT, then the system works, right? Because it doesn't matter after that unless if someone steals it and yours didn't make any money and theirs with a pixelated dot in the corner makes 1 million times more money for some reason, then that would really suck. But then that's where there needs to be like some sort of fair use, right? Like with current copyrights.
Well, that's not going to be fair use is the way it currently is like a 10-second short of a film, or
it's like 60%
if you're doing commentary,
of the original, work. Like if you only use like 40%,
they can't claim it as their own. So I don't know how they're gonna do it with pictures and shit, to where if somebody manipulates something on it, right? Like
if you took a selfie of yourself from your phone, like how the fuck does somebody else take that from you?
Yeah, that's
like how does that work? Like how? But they can, right? Like it's possible, it could happen.
I think there was an argument happening with that. I think it was Ariana Grande or something. She was it him or what? Was it him? No, her and Ye.
Her and
Kanye was making the argument.
Did he change his name?
Not Kanye.
He should. Yeah, he's Ye. That's his name now. Is Ye.
What?
Yeah.
His name
is
what?
Ye.
No.
Yes, his name is Ye.
No.
Yeah.
And then he was talking with some of the paparazzis, and it's like he was telling them
false.
Pretty soon I'm gonna be taking some of that cut of yours from your pictures, because you're using.
Okay, I thought you were talking about something else there for me.
You're using my image to make money, right? I want a cut of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if you can also go the same route if these artists that are getting their pictures taken and
pictures taken,
The
burp is starting to hit, dude.
The burp. What kind of burp?
It started to hit like an hour ago.
There's, I don't know. There's some weirdness when it comes to like all this stuff, when it comes to copyright ownership and shit. Like I don't know, like YouTube, I see all this time, like people on Twitch and stuff, they'll like pull up a YouTube video and like
and do commentary over
do commentary and stuff. But
I think you have to do commentary to be fair use
or satire. Satire is fair use. If you're making fun of something, if you're reviewing something. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah,
you can't just sit there, watch it, and not say anything. That's you're stealing content. You have to add to the video, I think, is what the YouTube
but like say. Master, was it science? God, fuck.
Mystery Science Theater.
Something similar. Yeah, something similar.
Yeah, but with like they take really old like shitty movies and make fun of them, or
because recently some guy who did Nintendo soundtracks got taken down, dude. They
but like Nintendo
4,
is like really adamant about that shit, right? Like they're scary, like they'll hunt you down and shit. They'll send the Yakuza after you.
But he couldn't claim fair use because he was just straight up just sharing the audio, right? And that's why Nintendo was able to take it down, because it wasn't fair use. It was the entirety of the song. It wasn't just 10-second snippets.
So I wonder, just like throw this out into an open forum, especially like the internet does come after me now too. So I do like streaming.
Don't at me, bro.
Just come at me and beat me down with your fists. So I do streaming. So I also like will put up like ads that Eve Online has for their videos and stuff like that, and I'll have that running as like
on your stream
instead of me being visible sometimes. And I'm like, okay, I want to block me.
Oh no, that's
no, is that okay?
Yeah.
And I put it on YouTube though too, because like I'll be most of the time actually I have a screen that I can zoom in.
Well, that's up to the company.
It is up to the company. Remember Frozen.
But I am I'm playing Eve Online while advertising for Eve Online.
So that's something that's interesting too, because I've been doing not music videos, but like YouTube videos for Joe Bain, for example. And as you know, and as his fans know, potentially, I've used like video game music that wasn't Eve video game music, like Final Fantasy and stuff, and these battles that I'm making him, look, these really epic battles and stuff. And they are epic battles. I'm not making him look epic. They are epic. I'm just, trying to convey that. But one time I used actual fucking Eve music on the video, and it got a copyright strike as soon as I posted it.
Not strike, copyright.
Well, no, it wasn't a strike. It wasn't a strike. Yeah, you're right.
Strike. There is a difference between a strike and anybody else. You can't monetize
it. So like, and the whole purpose of these videos for Joe were so that he could monetize them, because and then I could monetize them because I'm capitalism.
Although monetizing on YouTube is fucking a joke.
No, it is absolutely. It takes a long time, but
that's a whole different story.
But the point is, I'm just trying not to put stuff out for him that has any copyright issues, because we want to make money at some point.
Well, and here's part of the problem with that too, is that YouTube being as large as it is, pretty much their entire copyright system is based on algorithms. It's not people reviewing the cases.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But here's the situation though. I could go on now with a little bit of effort, and I could get YouTube to copyright any audio that you have and say I own that audio,
and then it'll automatically.
You would have to prove to YouTube that I'm lying.
Yeah. Yes, and if it was something like video game music, I could not prove that I owned it. But how the hell can you prove that you own it at that?
But that's the whole thing. You don't have. That's the scariest part about this. Is what he's talking about is the concept of being. So
it's like
what they've been doing.
It's like YouTube. Religion, then.
So
it's burden of proof.
But even then, even when it's fair use, go ahead.
I'll just give you an example because it happened to me when I was still making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But I used Undertale music in one of my videos because the creator, Toby Fox, had expressly consented publicly. If anyone wants to use my music, go for it. Here's my thing. If you need something, contact me. And I got it flagged on YouTube by some like random international company. that they actually own the music, and I'd have to, potentially lose my channel fighting with them over YouTube to prove it, which I could have done since, it was a very public sort of thing. But it's just an illustration of like, it's very easy. And whoever's saying that they own the copyright doesn't have to prove shit.
Yeah.
It's up to you to defend
that's
it.
bullshit.
Yeah, it's the
bullshit.
way that the process of how YouTube, because the thing is though is that, and that's the interesting thing, is that you start running into some weird areas, gray areas here of it's a company. It's their fucking website.
It's whatever they want to do.
And there is certain
Absolutely.
kind of concepts of, and I own a website, and
They
if somebody came to my website and said, you have to do this, right? If you have to do this, you have to do this with your website, I'll be like, well, legally force me to do that or shut the fuck up. Because that is my shit. But that still doesn't subtract how shitty their policy is. Their procedure and policy that they have is shit, and they should be getting hit for that. But it's more costly. This is where capitalism comes into the problem. Is that it's more costly for them to actually review any kind of copyright infringement thing, and like bring it, just grab them at their word, and then we'll deal with it later and let them litigate all this shit.
Yeah, they always they always err on the side of caution.
Right.
And that sucks because these big companies can bully anybody into doing that. Like Toei Animation bullied this anime reviewer guy, and they struck like something like 1,000 of his videos or something like that. Wow. And it took him like 5 or 6 months to fight that. But by then his channel was pretty much dead. He had to take down everything and then fight him just to upload it. And he was a small time person, right? So that took him months and months and months to get that fixed. Yeah. Even though it was fair use here in the United States, it wasn't fair use in Japan. But the way that it worked is somebody in Japan could strike you over here, and then that's totally fucking fine. They'll take it down, and then you have to work through the process.
Yep.
But I think they changed it now to where it's region locked, right? You can only strike somebody in that region that they're in. You can't go over international.
Yeah, because that makes more sense because of the laws being different everywhere.
But it took them fucking forever to fucking figure out how to do that.
But also, like it's I mean, you're dealing with this new frontier of everything is completely international and possibly inter-universal or metaversal. For all the fuck we know, there could be aliens trading NFTs of us right now. You don't know.
Well, I know the Matrix is real, man. That's what I know.
Yeah, the Matrix.
It is. But just to bring it kind of back to NFTs too, is I was just going to say, like, okay, so with YouTube and the copyrights and whatnot, like, it is shitty, but it is also in some respects improving. It's like NFTs are brand new. The fact that they have any promise whatsoever, like, maybe it'll be cool someday after,
I think that there's a lot of potential in NFTs. The idea of a public ledger that is maintained by a public non-centralized system is epic. Like, no matter how you phrase it, with monetary, trying to make a currency, trying to make I think NFTs is actually better than currency. I think currency, although extremely profitable right now for many people who got into the bandwagon early, I don't see it as a viable, sustainable currency in its current
cryptocurrency
system. Yes.
Yeah. Cryptocurrency.
And because that's basically what NFTs are, is like the new version of blockchain and how you utilize it instead of utilizing it for currency.
It's another layer, right, that you can use.
Right.
It's
and
similar.
I don't mind that layer.
Yeah.
Like I like the layer that they've added in here, and you can integrate it into games and stuff like that. It's kind of an interesting kind of thing. It's just, are we going to, how are we using it now? And how we're using it right now is about abusing people, to be honest.
Yeah, digital rights are going to have to change.
Digital rights will have to change. There needs to be more regulation or less of something else. I don't know. With that, it's hard. It's because the whole purpose of it is that it's not regulated, right? But then you also introduce one of the things that I think I mentioned when we were off air, that Bitcoin, you could potentially be processing some drug lord's transaction for child trafficking.
Oh, that was in the show. I'm pretty sure that's in
it was.
the show.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
if it was in the show. Back to that. NFTs are now another layer that could be used for laundering, funds. Like you like, for example, like you have someone that does something absolutely fucking terrible that maybe it's arms dealing or human trafficking or whatever, drug dealing, whatever it is.
Any
and now they have and they have any system of currency can do that. Yes.
Or will. Not can, will.
Yeah, and it will
definitely.
And so with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the fiat, whatever these cryptocurrencies, etc. They already provide like a layer of protection for that kind of stuff because it's you have
the dark web,
encryption, the dark web, etc. But now you can add an extra layer and buy and spend that dirty Bitcoin money that could possibly be traced back to you. And
Bitcoin is specifically designed to not be able to trace it back to you. I mean, that's the whole to make it is dark money. It is for dark money.
People fuck up, and it can be traced if you fuck up.
If you fuck up, yes, but
this is another layer of protection. Not just for that. I'm just saying that it's potential for that. Like it could also just be for for privacy. You know what I mean?
The thing is, go ahead. Okay, well, real quick, the one thing that I find really interesting, though, is should we be able to commit crime? I mean, really quick to kind of like bring this up to a really high level of like, because cryptocurrency is basically saying that there's no stupid it allows you to do criminal activities with your money without being traced at all, or it allows you to do non-criminal activities and non-shame, like you don't. But there's a certain level of how much in society we believe that you should be able to speed. You shouldn't have the police state having cameras on everything. And cryptocurrency is a way to remove currency from the current restrictions of monitoring that we currently have. And there's a question of whether, how far do you go on the spectrum of, do we secure safety or do we secure the ability to be, I don't know, people would say free, but I feel like there's a better word for it. It's not, there's like security versus a lot of people would say freedom.
Get away with shit.
Agency.
Agency. That's it. No, that's it. That's, well, at least in storytelling terms, I feel like that's perfect. That's you either have security or you have agency. And agency has a lot of darkness to it. It has the ability to
inherently
murder, rape, destroy, and
you can do
create.
Things, you can make those choices,
right? And then you get punished for making those choices, not
if you get caught.
But the thing is that should getting caught be made easier? Is cryptocurrency the step in the right direction for society in the sense that should we be being able to allow agency to get away with bad things easier, or
that's up to the government to figure it out, right? If you can get away with it, you should be able to get away with it.
I think there is a strong.
It's up to the law. It's up to the law to keep up with
Johnny
bullshit
Law
that people are fucking doing, right? If they're not,
I mean, especially on stupid crime, I agree with this, but on higher level crime, I disagree. Like murder and
I was going to go that route only because also if it were up to the government, then it would be total security all the time.
It would be
no agency. That's what that system just goes to every time it's given
24 hours.
Although we are kind of like going across two different like dimensions now, because we have this like digital dimension where things exist online and are potentially.
But I mean, there's always been money laundering, right?
No, but what I'm saying is like the crimes committed, for example, like in video games. And all of us can attest to this. We like to murder people in video games, and it's legal, and it's okay. Well, it's not necessarily legal. That's not even true. That's not even 100% true, because even in fucking Eve, in high security space, it's illegal. It's wrong. It's a crime, and yet we still do it in the video game. People play GTA You know, people play games where you can do all kinds of shit, like, and now we're getting into this whole metaverse. What if someone, Sal, finds a way to break and enter into your metaverse home and steal your shit? What if someone finds a way to do that? Is that a crime?
That's always been a thing, though, right?
Is that a crime though? Like, is that punishable, or is it just like, no, it's digital, who cares? Like,
no, digital crime has been real crime for a long time. That's been established in law. Like,
but we're talking about, we're not talking about like, I'm stealing your identity, I'm doxing you, I'm taking the stuff you paid. Well, I guess
no, because like if I stole your EVE Online account, that is I would be one, crossing international lines, so it'd be a felony. And there is already established concept that virtual goods are
there's a monetary value,
yes, but Frozen, I can go on to Eve, a CCP website. I can buy Plex that allows me to buy ships that I want. I buy a really big, expensive ship. I put it out there. Someone steals it or blows it up. What's stopping people from doing that? Like in the metaverse, where you create a house and I have this thing, and Sal sells this masterpiece, Sal Casso.
So
right,
that's where the game developer is the government.
Mm-hmm.
So the great example of this, you have two good examples. One you already brought up, EVE Online, that allows you to steal somebody's shit, and it's a trust issue, and they say, we don't give a fuck about trust issues, that's your problem. If you trusted somebody with access to your shit, that's your problem. Whereas you go over to World of Warcraft, that's a very different thing. If you scam and fuck people over on that,
you get banned.
We allow for the digital universe that has been created by the game developer to pretty much allow them to be the governing body of that.
So what you're saying is this metaverse thing is all about being zucked. If you want to be,
if Zuck says that you can't steal people's shit and go into their homes, then that's
But he might make a game mechanic that says that you can steal somebody's shit.
So then it should be. Then it'll be totally fine. But if it's the way it is, I think back in the day, like in the early 2000s, maybe 90s.
Good Lord, that is back in the day now.
Somebody stole somebody's WoW account that was worth thousands of dollars or something like that, and he went to prison for it because it was grand theft.
Yeah, no, there is a certain level, especially if you go outside of game mechanics in order to achieve something that's easily falling underneath law.
Stealing an account is going out, law. Because even in Eve, if you steal someone's account, that's illegal.
It's illegal, right? It doesn't matter.
That's
catching somebody stealing your account is a whole nother, probably not going to happen. Very rare that they catch the person. But in general, if the game company allows for, and they have a game mechanic inside of their shit, the digital world is a very interesting place because it's very different than our world. Because in our world, if you go on company property, they're still subject to the rules of the country or state or city or whatever, that they're in.
Yeah.
In the digital world, we don't have that. They're free.
It's kind of like international waters.
Right. It's more like walking into a sovereign country. And that's kind of what there is debate about.
The internet is like being in international waters. The websites and the companies are like sovereign countries that you're
like sovereign islands games that you can that you can sail to. Yeah. And that's exactly it creates gray areas and it needs to be that way, to be honest, because so think of it this way. I make a website, because this all goes back to the Republicans trying to destroy the clause that basically says that, like, if I own a website, I can post whatever the fuck I want and I can take down whatever the fuck I want on my website. Because if somebody posts child porn onto a website that I own, I should 100% not be liable for that person that's putting up that shit, but I should also be able to take it down immediately. and not be in trouble for fucking with that person's shit. Like,
because it's your website, so and you own it, so like it's not there, right? Like,
right, it goes into these areas where if I can't control the content that's going on to my website, then I lose my website, because as soon as I lose control over my website, somebody's going to use it for nefarious means, whether it's just to shut me down or to money launder or some other thing that they're trying to do. But at the very least, they can just be like, I don't like this person, I'm just going to post child porn on there, and now he can't take it down. And I get to do whatever the fuck I want. And then he gets in trouble for having it on there. And then the whole website gets taken down. Like, it's some fucked up shit.
We're all about to get swatted right now. I'm just saying. But I think in conclusion to NFTs and the future of gaming, I think maybe if it had enough regulation, it could be a good thing. But with companies like EA and pay to win and pay gating and fucking,
it shouldn't be up to the company. The company should allow the creation of them, but they shouldn't be the ones putting them out. I think that's probably the better way of handling NFTs.
But it's not going to happen because capitalism.
They should at the very least they should get a cut of it, right? Like 15% of whatever the sale is.
Yeah, that
should be fine. But
more sense. But
that's what a lot of them are doing. They're teaming up with Ethereum rather than creating their own currency and stuff like that. And so my final thoughts is that I think, real quick, NFTs are a fucking scam right now. As they stand right now, pure fucking scam. Stay the fuck away. It's dangerous to fucking territory. But I find the technology to be interesting. Same thing with cryptocurrency. Blockchain technology is interesting. I find it very cool. I think that we might do something cool with it in the future. I think there might be a game that might be able to be designed, that might be able to be designed correctly behind the idea of blockchain and how to integrate it and interpret it properly into a video game. But we are like 20 years away, I feel like. The only thing that I've seen that right now that I kind of like is actually what EVE Online did, which was like, here's an NFT of your kill mail.
Give one out.
It's some stupid little thing as a medal, as a prize.
They weren't even selling it, but
as a baseball card. That's where I think NFTs are fine right now, but they're way too fucking expensive for, not just expensive, but just stupid. I don't know. I don't know. It's not like baseball cards, because baseball cards really have true meaning to like what they are. Whereas
they have a physical.
You don't want to own the moment.
I like I said, with that kill mail, I think that's kind of cool. I would like a medal, like an NFT. I wouldn't mind getting an NFT from CCP for participating in some crazy event. Yeah. But I really don't want them to make an item that is an NFT that and then going down that road.
I would be okay.
But maybe other games.
I would be okay if the items were purely cosmetic. I'd be okay with
that'd be cool. Yeah,
like decorations or something. Yeah,
decorations, skins,
and that's what I plan on doing. Is if it ever gets up and going, I'm gonna sell fucking like pictures and maybe 3D art or something.
And that would be awesome.
That's the way
in my metaverse home. I want an original Sal Casso on my wall.
It's gonna be like fucking Etsy is, right? It's your
like Devin said, like it saved somebody's house. Like that's some cool. There is some creative outlet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like money to the creator is fucking cool. Like
that's probably the most positive piece. Is like if artists can actually utilize it to make money from their work, because I mean, let's face it, the starving artist is a real thing. Like that's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of people. And art is. We need more art in the world too. So encouraging
subjective too, though. But
yeah,
modern artists are going to make a money hand over fist selling just a line on a canvas.
What about you, Devin? Do you have any final thoughts on NFTs and the future of gaming?
Yeah, Devin.
I I mean, I think we've kind of already said it. I just, I see a lot of promise with stories like my wife's friend who was able to, save their house and whatnot. Like, there's a lot of promise there. The technology is definitely interesting. Right now, it's just being exploited, and abused horrifically. So we're in the Wild West right now. So whether it can save itself from that or not is, time will tell. I think I'd say Frozen maybe is a little optimistic in my view that 20 years will do it. I'm thinking more like 40. But I think eventually we'll get there to where we
I think it's once
we can find a use for it.
Was it the singularity? Sure. Once we've gotten to the point where all of us can just upload ourselves into the
Matrix,
or Ready Player One, the Oasis,
the Zuctrix,
the metaverse, because that's going to be a thing, right? Eventually, when they figure that out, it's going to be a thing. You'll be able to like spend, you're about to die and you're like, no, I want to live in the metaverse, and they can upload your consciousness. Like,
if you go by how quickly technology doubles every year.
I mean, that's I don't know how accurate
that's processing power for how much is on a die. That's it.
But what I'm getting at though is the things that we can imagine, we tend to eventually create, and it's happened with many fucking things. And Star Trek is probably one of the easiest examples for me. Like, we have phones now that are more powerful than any handheld device, apart from maybe a phaser. In Star Trek, our phones have more information, than like an entire starship's database on it, right?
Our starship, our tricorders are now on our wrist.
The tricorders on your wrist, exactly. But that being said, like in the future, I think that this will be a thing. Right now it's shitty and but I feel like Frozen says it has potential, and like Devin says, I don't know if 20 years from now is enough time, because
you guys are the human race, dude, is so fucking cool. You don't take a step back and just there's a lot of craziness, but look at humans instead of looking at them. So a lot of people, I feel like, look at humans in a 15-year time span or like a 20-year time span, and they're like, and I'm just like, no, times that by 1,000. Look at humans, man. We have fucking done well in the last 1,000 years. We have completely different. Last 3,000 years. 200 years.
Yeah,
it's crazy. We in the last, and then if you take all of that shit into account, in the last 15 years, we've actually been pretty fucking good.
The problem
we've been advancing our shit, man. We're becoming more empathetic
right now. Yes, becoming more empathetic. The problem we're having right now, though, with technology is the fact that AI is becoming a thing, and free will could potentially be taken away just with something as simple as, driving your car to work, because, if all cars are automated, then you don't have the freedom to drive your car to work. It's just going to drive you to work. But if all cars were automated, I bet you there'd be a 99% reduction in accidents, because you removed the human element.
I don't know. Once again, I would change it to agency, because I think that freedom is a bit weird word.
Like agency, freedom is
whatever.
Laziness is what's going to save humanity, right?
Wally, we're all going to be in these chairs.
If you don't want to drive and somebody offers you something that'll get you there without you having to think about it. Look at Lunchables, dude.
I want to fucking teleport.
Peanut butter and jelly.
If I have to be someplace on a regular basis, I want to fucking teleport.
No, actually, laziness is good. More than when it comes to if you that's how we advance shit, is we don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back 1,000 years ago, if you wanted to get food, you had to go get fucking food.
You hunted and you
did right. You burned more than the calories required of what you ate to get the food.
Now you tell a kid,
that's
hey,
why we're fat now.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, yeah, laziness and porn is what's going to end up saving the world.
It's fine, man. We're good.
All right.
Porn progresses technology.
Laziness and porn. I think that's the takeaway from this episode.
That's NFTs. That's NFTs.
NFTs right is laziness and porn.
And porn.
And this has been Strength in Gaming. I'm Samson Lancaster. Good night, you motherfucking nerds.
Night.
Roast.
Score.
Bullet.
Skol. L'chaim.
Laheim.
Down it, Sal. Down it.
Bye.
Don't get your lipstick on there.
Ah, man.
Oh.
Right on top, dude. There's a cut.
Thank you so much to all the nerds that listened. You can find us at strengthandgaming.com or email us at info@strcast.com.
He's doing it.
Yeah,
Dude, it's like that 70s show or something.
I like this. Yeah.
He can become one of those VTubers.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it looked way sexier, man. Like smooth it all out.
Smooths it all out, right?
Yeah, man.
Without it,
I
look
want to
fucking
know what I
tired.
look like. You
Like
guys
fucking Thor.
Let's see if can I do this?